the biggest mistake that people make when they come out of military, out of school, out of a job they don't like, out of a bad relationship, is they don't give themselves enough time to win in new shit.
And I feel like I always worry about the because I graduated from Kennesaw State, and I always worry about the financial side of things versus like actually chasing
the happiness. That comes down to spending money. If you can live more humble, you can hold your breath longer. This is what I tell everybody. People are giving up on their dreams by buying fucking Yeezys. Like, if you can afford it, buy a fucking Benzo. I don't give a fuck. But if you can't, and it's buying shit that made you have to go back, then you fucked up. If you can afford it, buy anything. Buy a Lambo, buy an island. I don't give a fuck. But if you're buying shit that then takes you out of being able to chase your dream, you're fucking up. So, like, really be thoughtful about your money. And do some side hustle shit. The flipping stuff I talk about. Get a job that fucking sucks, but it lets you chase your dream longer. And then you've always got the last thing there. But be patient. It's impatience, I'm telling you. People aren't patient. The only way you're gonna be able to beat competitors that can throw money against search, which I'm sure is a huge driver for your industry, the only way you're gonna be able to compete with that is to become the authority of content. It's why I started Wine Library TV, right? I became the wine spectator, Jancis Robinson, Robert Parker, right? You need to do that, but you don't have to just do it as direct as I did with Wine Library TV. We're pitching a client right now that sells crackers to become the leading reviewer of cheese, right? Yeah. And so like you can play with things that are within the world of the thing that you actually sell.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. But you have to do it, right? Like it's like exercise, right? Like this book and what I just told you is right? But so is the way to get a six-pack in your stomach, right? There's a right way to get a six-pack for your stomach. There's exercises, right? And there's a diet. I know what they are. I'm not doing it. So I can tell you what to do. I can write for $30, you can find out what to do. But the problem is, back to that other question where I got kind of like in my zone, it's execution. You know what the answers are. Maybe you don't. There's plenty of people that look like myself that can give you a lot of good ones, but you have to pick them and actually do them. Period. Like this notion that it's going to be easy to be an all-time great in anything. I sacrificed my entire childhood to be a great entrepreneur. Just for the record, I have deep-rooted shit. Because I was not a normal child. I worked every day of my fucking life. Just so everybody's, like, I'm happy, but like, I got shit. Everyone has shit.
Yeah.
Of course, how could you want to be one of the great, how is that, how do people not understand?
The difficulties are gonna be there.
Everyone's looking at your son right now, who's in America, who's a soccer player, and it's like, oh, lucky, awesome, good for him, all good stuff. Do they want to go to Germany at 15 and fucking have that culture shock? Or do they want to go to the prom?
Exactly.
Or do they want to hook up with Sally? Or do they want with a Visco girl? Or like, what do they want? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Enough. You want to be fucking LeBron? Bleed like LeBron. You want to be Beyonce? Bleed like Beyonce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was something. I mean, I'll never forget. Those first few months, and just not allowing him to make an excuse or to say,
dwelling is fucking
suck it up,
cancer.
Get up in the morning. If this is what you want, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah, and it's not, for anybody who's listening who might be confused, who's saying, well, how's that any different than the person yelling at the back of the car after? It's not that. It's accountability versus ridicule. There's a reason those two words exist. They're different.
Well, and I think it's also, because I think also what you can do with that kid that doesn't want to get up and doesn't want to do these things, that's okay. Like, you don't have to be in the top 1% of soccer players in this country.
Of course.
And you don't have to get up right now, but you have to understand that it's like I said, your actions have consequences. And so you need to decide what it is that you want and then act accordingly.
We live in a world that people's actions do not match the ambitions coming out of their mouth.
Sure. Yeah.
The end.
You can change either. You can change your actions,
Correct.
or you can change your ambition.
Correct.
I think either is an option.
Let me give you
I
an
don't
example.
think anybody.
Let me give you an example. My son is like, I'm gonna dunk, and I'm like, look, already he's 7. I'm like, listen, man, mommy and daddy, we're not you guys. I'm not sure we're giving you the DNA for that. I'm like, look, do your thing. And I had this crazy combo. Like somebody overheard it and was like, that's weird. They thought I was like crushing dreams. And the combo ended with me saying, look, I think you could be a really, really awesome intramural city league player, right? And like he was like, he's 6 at the time, 5 at the time. He's like, what does that even? I don't know if he even knows the city league basketball. Yeah. Like I'm like, look, D3 shitty squad 3-point shooter, maybe but here's what's interesting about that: a father or a mother that says that to a kid. Do you know how many people told me that I couldn't? I didn't give up. Or said, oh, my mom and dad or others said I couldn't. That got me more fired up. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking stick it to everybody. That was my structure. To your point there, like this notion that you can be LeBron, baby. Like the thought of like that conversation, that's doing a lot of damage. And to your point, when you're 14-year-old that 11 to 16-year-old range gets real interesting to me because these kids start changing, and all of a sudden the 13-year-old guy, just cliche stories, the 13-year-old guy who's gonna be the next fucking Mbappe, that's what he thinks, all of a sudden grew 6 inches, took his braces off, and the cutest girl at his camp thinks he's cute, and his chemicals changed. His world just changed. And if he then changes, and all of a sudden he doesn't want to be Mbappe, well, guess what? That's life too. Yeah. But take it from somebody who went through high school where all of a sudden I also grew and I was charismatic and I had things, and I thought it was more fun to go to sleep at 8:30 p.m. on a Friday instead of going out with cool chicks because I wanted to wake up at 5 a.m. to do a flea market. This is real talk now.
Yeah.
Well, then there's no mistake of why I got here. This is not by accident. This is not luck. This is I put in the work, and it's because it was interesting to me. It was more interesting to me to go to Flemington's flea market than to go out with Pam Moses. So I think work ethic, I love it. I really do think that people grossly underestimate the balance between work ethic and talent, right? Talent gets you to a certain place, and then there's another variable to it. And so I'm a big fan of it, specifically within social. I'm starting to realize very recently, this is one of the first few times I'm ever saying this, we got caught. Web 1.0 and 2.0 were very automated and very quick results driven. If you've been on the web for the last decade or 15 years, we got caught because email marketing, SEO and SEM, banner retargeting, all this stuff worked quickly. The reason I built the business from 3 to 60 was because I email marketed when nobody else did it, and I had 88% open rates, right? Because it was new and nobody was doing it. So we had this web revolution where things, you did something and you got quick results. Then it matured into this thing called social media, and it's actually the opposite. Social media is human. Your best relationships didn't happen overnight. Maybe some of your most fond ones, but not your best ones, right? And so, where we're caught is jab, 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 right hook. Give, 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 and then ask. We're coming from Web 1.0 and Web 2.0, which was ask, 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 ask. And because it was new and highly effective and quite targeted in comparison to print, radio, television, outdoor, it converted quite well. You landed 1 in every 4 of those right hooks. Pretty good ratio compared to the 1 in every 500 that traditional media did. And remember, I built a lot of my library on traditional media. I'm not a new age kid. I love print and radio and television and direct mail still today. My problem is, it's all overpriced. All traditional media right now is priced as if we live in 2002 instead of 2014. That's the only problem I have with it. I'd still run a commercial if they charged me the appropriate price in a world where everybody DVRs and PVRs, and or if a commercial's lucky to break through all the new technology, the second one comes up, you grab your phone and you're looking down and you're not paying attention. So, to me, I've never had the people that set auto DMs to their Twitter accounts, I want to stab in the throat. The people that that think that like you can automate human touch are wrong. And that's why they've struggled with it. They've tried, most people are applying, I truly believe most people are applying SEO and SEM, banner targeted, and email marketing psychology to social, which is why they're not getting results.